Hey guys, it's Stephanie. So today what I thought I would talk about is some helpful tips if you are used to being in a sales office, in a model home, and now you're trying to limit exposure with clients face-to-face, or you're trying to work virtually, if your hours are limited and people aren't actually coming into your office. So there's a couple of tips I wanted to talk about. I have 3 of them. So the first one is when we're talking about your physical files. If you operate where you don't know what's going on with your backlog or a file or an inventory home unless you're at the office and you have that physical file, this is the time where you really need to look at how you operate your business and see if you can streamline that process and get it digital. So give you an example. If you've got 10 homes in backlog and you don't have any document that tells you what the address is, when it's closing, stage of construction, sales price, any of that information, it would be a really good idea to maybe start with just a simple Excel spreadsheet and start putting that information in. So you would have columns that have first name, last name, sale date, close date, sales price, if there's a realtor or not, and notes. And that way, save it in the cloud, like in a Google or Drive or Dropbox. And that way, if you do need to work from home or do need to access that information and you're not at the office, it's really easy. You can know exactly what's going on. You know what to look for. All that's going to be digitized so that you don't have to have those physical files with you. The other thing would be if you have physical floor plans or things like that and you haven't scanned them in and you just have the physical copies. Another thing you could do is scan them to an email folder. That way, if you need to send floor plans out to people, you can do that easily and you don't have to rely on them coming into the office to having those conversations. Same thing with your spec flyer, same thing with price sheets. All that stuff, if you want to take pictures of them and make them into PDFs, or if you want to scan them and then just create files in your email so you have access to them, or in a Dropbox or Google Drive to where you can just send clients your link. That's a really good way to not have to be tied into everything being at the office if that's how you're usually set up. The other thing is going to be, as far as especially contact information, making sure you're putting that in your cell phone or Google Contacts or something, phone numbers and email addresses to your clients. That way, if you need to reach them when you're not at the office, that you can do that easily. So that's another tip for you. As far as communication goes, the second point, so we've got the physical information. We need to start figuring out how to digitize that if you haven't already. Second is going to be, how do you communicate with your clients if you are wanting to have a meeting with them, talk with them, present information without just doing that over the phone, without just doing that via FaceTime. So I just filmed a video where I'm going to do a walkthrough on how to have a webinar with your clients and share documents. I will link that above in the description, or wherever you're watching this, I'll link this so where you can see where that is. But that's going to give you a really good idea of how, for free, you can have an online meeting with them. You can share documents. You can share everything. You're seeing them eyeball to eyeball, so you know what they're thinking. You can see their body language, so you're not going to lose out on that rapport building if for some reason they're not coming into your office, or if you're working from home and you're trying to still work and still make some sales and be productive. So I'm going to help you out on that one. The third area is your tours, showing your product, showing your neighborhood. So I know a lot of builders already will have your virtual tours online. That's great. However, when you are selling an individual inventory home, that inventory home is unique. It's got a different color palette. It's got a different elevation. It may be on a certain home site that you really want to highlight. So what I would do if I were you, if you're still in the office and you are still working, I would go out tomorrow when it's really pretty out. I mean, it's getting kind of dark right now, and go in each inventory home that you have with a camera on your phone, take some footage. I will warn you, sometimes when you are in the homes, it's going to be super echoey if you try to describe what's going on or what's happening. You may be outside and it's windy. You can totally do that. It is what it is. But you could also film it and then later on do a voiceover when you're inside, voicing over what you're doing in the video. That way it's a little bit better quality. And that way you're showcasing those individual inventory homes. Then what I would do is either do one of 2 things. I would either upload them to YouTube, which is a little complicated if you're not used to YouTube or you don't have a channel, or I would upload it to a Dropbox or a Google Drive. So again, cloud. And the reason I would recommend that is, let's say you have a realtor or someone call you or a client call you and say, hey, I'd love to see 1234 Main Street. Can't make it out. I'm not getting out. Or let's just say we go into more of a strict lockdown or something like that. And you can't show them the home physically. What you can do is send them the link from Dropbox or Google Drive and email or text it to them. Sending the link versus the actual video file is way easier. Plus, a lot of the email providers limit the amount of the size of files, and video files are really big. So a lot of times you can't send the actual video file. So I would highly recommend doing that. I would recommend taking photos of your neighborhood or video clips of your neighborhood, the entryways, the amenity centers, anything that you normally would show a buyer when they're out with you in person. Pretend you have a buyer with you and you're showing them your neighborhood. You're demonstrating your model home. You're demonstrating your product. And you're going to want to film that, and you're going to want to record that and then save it in a cloud solution like Google Drive, Dropbox, something like that, so that you can share the links via email, text. That way it's super easy. That way, while we are in this weird time, we are able to still be productive. There are a ton of buyers still out there, guys, and I'm not just saying that because the rates are still low. People are figuring out what's important to them. Their home is always going to be most important. That's what everyone's going to come back to. Anytime we have any kind of crisis, we're going to want to nest. We're going to want to be with our families. We're going to want to honestly get out of the apartments and get out of the high density housing to get into a home. And so you want to make sure that even when we're having this really weird time, if you can really set yourself up, digitize all of your physical files, all of your physical paperwork. When I was in new construction, I had what I called my Bible, my work Bible, and it had everything in there, right? Well, digitize that. It had floor plans, it had pricing, it had everything I could imagine that I would pull out and talk to a customer with. Digitize all of that, and then go watch my video on how to set up an online webinar or web meeting with your clients, how you can share information. You guys are going to set yourself up for success. This is going to help you even when it's normal and we have people coming in, because then when you have an out-of-state buyer or maybe you're off, you can totally still run your business and not be locked into being at the office. So this is really going to bring in, I believe, a lot of new skills that we haven't necessarily had to use before, especially in new construction sales and in real estate in general. I automated and digitized my business about 6 years ago. So I've already been there, done that. So I understand the growing pains. I use my webinar stuff for all my podcast interviews. So I get it. I understand it. I've been there, done that. I'm going to be launching a course on how to automate and digitize your business here in a little bit. I've actually been working on it. I'm fast tracking it though with the times that we're in right now. If you would like to be on the wait list for that course, I'm going to put a link in both the video and in the description wherever you're watching this. You can go to theglamgirlboss.com/waitlist. Again, that's theglamgirlboss.com/waitlist. And when that course is ready, I will let you guys know and you can look into that. And then for now, if you want just to go to that video regarding the webinar I was talking about to show you guys how to quickly, tactically, tangibly get going right now. My goal is to try to get out some useful tips for you guys that you can actually use. Mindset's really, really important, but at the end of the day, we got to execute. And if I can give you guys some tips that works for you, I want to do that for you. If there's anything else you have questions about, anything else that you're struggling with, if you're trying to work digital or remote and it's not working for you, let me know. I'm happy to help. I do a lot of digital and virtual work. I literally just talked to a client, sent her listing agreement. We went through everything and it's fine. Like, we're business as usual in that regard. So I'm happy to help. If something is getting you stuck, I can help you work through that, maybe offer some ideas on different technology solutions. So make sure you hit me up. I'm really here to help. And I hope this was helpful for you as far as kind of walking through the process of how to get out of having things physical, how to digitize it, how to communicate with your clients in a meaningful way, still build that relationship and that rapport, even if you're not belly to belly, face to face. All right. I hope you guys are safe. I hope you guys are having a great weekend, and we'll talk soon.